Vamos a hablar con Edward Watts, es profesor de historia en la Universidad de California, San Diego. Good night.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, Edward. So, first of all, well, it's an open question, but who do you think is going to win this election tonight?
I think it's very difficult to say. I suspect that probably what we're going to see is an election that isn't decided today. It will unfold over the course of many days as the counting continues. My gut says it's probably going to be Donald Trump, but I don't really think it's anything closer than a 50-50 chance.
We have followed the Trump rallies in general, but the last night we have followed the last rally. He said that he doesn't need famous people because he has his policies. But after these words, he thanked Joe Rogan, he thanked Elon Musk to support him. We are not used to see these kind of things in Spain. So, what candidate do you think, in your opinion, has chosen better their famous supporters?
I think it's actually really interesting because both of them have pitched their choices of famous supporters to people who really resonate with the basis of their support. So I think when you look at Kamala Harris, her support is very strong among women, among suburban, well-educated people. And so she has figures like Taylor Swift. She has figures like cultural figures, directors, movie actors who resonate with that particular group. And Donald Trump, I think, has done a very good job of choosing people who resonate with the particular base that he's chasing, which is a lot of young men, a lot of people who identify with Joe Rogan, listen to Joe Rogan, a lot of people who are older who identify with people like Hulk Hogan. I mean, the Republican convention was something that was kind of out of this world for the choice of people that it had speaking. And yet those people that were speaking were perfectly pitched to appeal to the types of audiences that Donald Trump wanted to reach. And so I think both sides have, in a way, been very deliberate in choosing who they have come out to speak for their supporters and who they have come out to serve as a kind of surrogate branding for their campaigns. They really understand who they're trying to reach, and I don't think they're particularly surprised that these particular individuals they've chosen resonate with the individuals that they target to win the election.
We have seen several problems with race, for example, the Biden's insults. Who do you think has dealt better with the campaign problems?
I think in a weird way, it's been a very challenging last 9 years for people in the United States. When we look at how Donald Trump has been covered and how the complete aberrant nature of the way he campaigns has been almost normalized. So many of the things that Trump has done in the last 9 years, but especially in the last year or so, are in a way just waved away because they're typical of Trump, but they're not typical of anybody else. And so I think that when you see Joe Biden make a comment and it rises to the level of Donald Trump, comparing someone, positively associating his policies with fascist leaders of the past, those are not the same thing. But in the United States, the way these races have been covered, you see an equation between small mistakes on the Democratic side and things that would have been absolutely inconceivable if a candidate who wasn't Donald Trump did the same thing, on the Republican side. So I think it's, in a way, a question of reception. When the people in America are listening to these controversies boil up, what are they seeing and how are they reacting? And if you react to something like what Biden said in the same way that you react to, say, Trump calling for violence on January 6th, you are making an equation that I don't think is actually a genuine equation. Making a stray comment and inciting a riot that leads to the storming of the Capitol are not the same thing. And yet we have tended to equate them in a way that I think is quite dangerous.
I've seen this afternoon a few threats, like in Georgia, the FBI targets Russia. Do you think we will see more threats tonight?
I don't know about tonight, but I'm very, very scared that if the election is close, we're going to see some risks and possibly even some violence. And I think it's quite likely that it will come from the right and the left. You know, I think one of the greatest things that was destroyed in 2020 was the sense that elections in the United States are fair and should be decided peacefully. What happened after the 2020 election was a violent challenge. And with that, I think and so I think with the violence and the threat of violence, what we have is a situation that's quite dangerous for the long-term prospects, but also it leads to a lack of faith in the genuine activities of elections in the United States. And I think that lack of faith extends to both sides. A close election, I think, is likely to have violence on either side at this point.
Yeah, Trump have said he will accept the results of the election. Do you think he's saying the truth? And above that, do you expect peace in the USA between all the parties these following days?
I think it's very unlikely that Trump is actually going to accept the election results unless it's so overwhelming that there's absolutely no question. And I don't think that's I don't think that's possible. This is going to be a close election. And for years, he's shown us that he doesn't accept results of close elections that don't go his way. And so, you know, I think it's actually shocking that it's newsworthy that you have a political candidate in the United States saying that they're willing to accept an election result. That's astonishing. Never before Trump would it be even a question that a political candidate in the US would accept an election result. And the fact that it's newsworthy now, I think, shows exactly how much we've normalized the kind of behavior that Trump's engaged in.
We hope a peaceful night tonight. So thank you very much for being tonight with us. Edward Watts is a California University professor. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you. Take care.